Virtus Pro arguably has the best CT side on Overpass in the last 3 months, with a high win rate of 60%. Today I want to have a look at qikert and how he defends monster for Virtus Pro, so let's begin. Before I get into qikert's POV, I want to quickly show you the overview and how the B site works. This will make it a lot easier for when I'm explaining it later in the video. At the start of the round, qikert's going to go towards monster with one of the A or B players smoking off monster at the start of the round. qikert's going to cross the monster safely because of the smoke. Meanwhile, Buster or Sanji is going to Molotov short to make sure there are no rushes. After Buster or Sanji finishes Molotov in short, they're going to come towards monster and stand on the ramp facing towards this wooden wall. Once the smoke's about to fade, one of the B players will smoke it off. The aim for the B side is to constantly throw utility towards monster. Because of this, they're going to keep throwing smokes and molotovs into monster. Because of this will force the T's into short, where Sanji and Buster can have a crossfire set up. Meanwhile, qikert can just hold the smoke, just in case if any T's run for the smoke, he can get a free kill. And at times the A players will also help out by throwing smokes from A into monster. Now that I'm done explaining, let's go into his POV. When qikert's going towards monster, he will either throw a grenade or flash towards monster, or he will jump peek towards toxic. I will also show you some of the setups that qikert is playing with his teammates. Commonly when qikert's going towards monster, he likes to throw a grenade into there, so he's going to jump down from heaven into pit, run towards monster, grenade it and play anti-flash. Then he will hug the wall and get close towards monster, just in case if the T's are going to rush, he can get an easy kill to any T's running out. Once again, qikert's going to do the exact same, jump down from heaven into pit, grenade monster and hug the wall. Something alternative that qikert might do is do a flash instead. This will land right in front of monster, blinding any T's trying to rush through the smoke. He's then going to go close to the wall and play anti-flash. Now for toxic. qikert likes to go towards toxic and jump peek towards monster. He will jump peek it and throw his grenade if there are any signs of an execute. Once again, qikert's towards toxic, he's jump peeking, he decides to stop for a second, then he will throw his grenade deep down into monster. This is going to deal a lot of damage towards Magisk, and deal some damage towards Bubsky. And as a bonus, if qikert shoots him in the head, it's going to be a 1-shot instead of a 2-shot. In this round the T's are going to do a B rush. The short Molotov will allow Sanji to get the info that they're rushing. Because of this, qikert's going to Molotov monster to force any T's to run through his Molotov if they want to fight. qikert's then going to swing into short to help Sanji. He hears the T's running through the Molotov on monster, and he gets the final kills onto them. The common setup on B is to have qikert close towards monster playing anti-flash, Buster or Sanji facing towards the wooden wall, and one playing jump peek in short to get any information. Qikert will be able to kill any players running through the smoke. However, if qikert's full blind, Buster will be able to peek from the wooden wall into monster. Once again, qikert and Buster are going to play the exact same setup. Buster is going to re-smoke monster, and the T's are going to execute onto the B bomb site. 4 of the T's are going to run out short, meanwhile qikert's going to hold monster and he gets a kill onto Zipex. Meanwhile qikert and Sanji just cleans up towards short. An alternative setup that Virtus Pro also used on the B side is to move the short player to the back of pillar and to keep the monster players how they are. Because of this setup, this allows the short player, i.e. Buster, to hold a different angle on short, and he's able to help monster if the T's rush out. Now I'm going to show you how qikert blocks and plays monster. Starting with smokes, qikert will commonly smoke off monster at 130. As mentioned at the start of the video, Virtus Pro wants to keep constant utility towards monster to prevent any pushes. And as a result, the T's are forced to go through the smoke or to go short. Once again, qikert smoking monster around 130 and then getting into this corner. However, it's not always Buster or qikert smoking off monster. At times it's Sanji doing this lineup. Jim can also smoke monster from sight. Lastly, Yukina can smoke monster from bins. Let's move on to setups now. I'm going to show you some of the different setups I've seen qikert and his monster player do. In this round, qikert's watching towards monster and he's waiting for the smoke to fade, and Buster's going to join him. qikert gets a kill onto Bubsky, and they're going to play in this setup right here. qikert can watch the right side, meanwhile Buster can watch the left side. This makes it really difficult for a T to get ready to execute, as they need to deal with the CTs first. qikert is going to take the first contact, he's going to get flashed off, Buster will take contact, qikert will swing, and he will get both. We have this setup that I showed earlier, and this is their most common setup they will play. In this round, Astralis is going to execute onto the B bomb site, qikert gets full white, Buster will try to swing, but both will die. The last setup I've seen him play is double towards jail. qikert has an org and he's going to watch towards monster, meanwhile Buster is going to be underneath him, playing anti-flash. If qikert gets full blind, Buster can easily swing and support qikert. However, in this round the T's are going to go towards A, and both qikert and Buster are going to rotate. Alright, let's move on to Toxic. Whenever qikert's towards Toxic, he likes to jump peek with a Molotov like this. At the peak of his jump, he can see any T's trying to come out monster, and because of this, he can Molotov and get Buster to swing onto them. And since qikert's spotting towards monster, this allows Buster to play anti-flash just in case they execute. Once again, qikert's spotting towards monster. One of the A player dies, so he decides to Molotov to allow Sanjay to rotate. As mentioned at the start of the video, the B players want to keep constant utility towards monster. So because of this, he's going to Molotov monster, then he's going to follow it up with a smoke. Once again, qikert's towards Toxic, the Molotov's about to fade, so he's going to smoke off monster to keep the B site safe. Then since the smoke is down, this will allow him to cross to the other side. Let me show you some scenarios that qikert's was in that you can learn from. The T's about to execute onto the B bomb site, he's jump peeking monster with his grenade, he sees the utility coming in, so he's going to throw a grenade which will do a lot of damage to two of the Astralis players. He's going to be flashed off monster and he's going to be full white. A Toxic Molotov comes from T, and now he has two options. You could either use his smoke to put out the Molotov and play around it, or he could try and go for some kills, however he will likely die. Unfortunately for him, he's going to force himself into a fight, which he will lose. Whenever Virtus Pro wants to take short control, qikert's will always be at Toxic ready to support. In this round, Sanjay is going to Molotov the corner and short, meanwhile qikert's going to be in Toxic, flashing above short. The Molotov will land in this corner, forcing any T's to swing out into Buster, and the flash will land above water, making any T's who are looking towards short blind. This will allow Buster to swing out and focus on this area here. Once again, Sanjay and qikert's are going to do the exact same utility. They're going to throw the utility, Buster will swing and he doesn't see anyone. Meanwhile, qikert's going to hold monster to prevent any counter aggression. At times, Virtus Pro will do the exact same utility, except send no one. This can be used to get any T's from water out of there, or to bait some counter aggression and force the T's to rush into monster, where they have two players holding. Here is another example of Virtus Pro faking short control. As soon as qikert's throws a flashbang, he gets his Molotov ready and Molotovs monster, to prevent an execute. Let's move on to getting information on monster. Commonly, qikert's will be the one getting the information from monster, or will be supporting. In this round, qikert's jump spotting monster. One of the A players will die, so he's going to Molotov monster, and he's going to peek behind it, using the Molotov smoke to mask his visibility. In this round, the B set have no utility and is quite late into the round. Because of this, he's going to make a play and he's going to dry peek monster. He's going to call this to his teammates where they can make the rotations towards A. In this round, the time is getting low and hits 40 seconds. So because of this, qikert's going to smoke off monster and go towards CT. Once the monster smoke is about to fade, qikert's going to flash Sanjay into monster and try and get any information. Unfortunately for Sanjay, Magis was hiding on the left side, so he didn't get the info. qikert's will rotate towards pillar, Astralis will then execute onto the B bomb site, Sanjay will be full blind, qikert's will try to swing, but they will both die and lose the site. After watching multiple qikert's demos, I've noticed that he's a bit of an info hunter. He's the main player on B who will try to gather information and allow his team to make the correct rotations. Unfortunately, he is a bit predictable due to the spots he's playing. Either he's mainly playing towards monster or he's playing towards Toxic. However, if he is performing from those positions, it shouldn't be an issue. And lastly, he's a team player. He will always try and put himself into a position where he can have a crossfire with a teammate. If you have a player in a position you want me to break down next, feel free to put it in the comments. Perhaps you want to know how to execute Dust 2 B site like Astralis? Well, I made a video about it, and the link to that video can be seen in the description. Thanks for watching, see you in a bit.